Hi there, my name is Alvaro Yala. I'm delighted to be here. And today's video, I'm going to talk about how parents can help their kids to become a fluent person in a second language. So, if you are a parent of family, you are worried about the education of your kids, and you want that your kids become a fluent person, let me tell you, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance that your kids become a fluent person, and finally, I'm going to share to you the strategy that I use in order my daughter becoming a fluent person in that second language. So if you are worried about the education of your kids and you really want that your kids become a fluent persons, let me tell you this video is for you. When it comes about learning a new language, let me tell you something really important. You know that the only thing that you need to do is practice the language. So you as parents, you need to be worried about your kids practice that new language, that second language that you wanted that they learn of the proper way. So try to provide them the practice of that language. So that is the reason why I believe that learning a new language, that second language, throughout to attend to language school, that is something that it doesn't work of the proper way because in that language school they don't focus about the process or the practice that for me is listening and speaking, and let me tell you my experience teaching or guidance my daughter in order that she became fluent in English, and at the beginning she didn't want to learn English, but because I ordered her, I say that I try to encourage her to study English, to practice English as much as she can. I ordered her to study English at least 1 hour a day. It was what I did. So at the beginning it was really hard, but what I did is that I encouraged my daughter in order that she start to practice English of the proper way. I ordered her to study English or watching a series of videos on YouTube, whatever video that she wanted to watch. But the only thing that I asked her to practice watching this video at least 1 hour a day, it was my order. And at the beginning, as I said, she didn't want to do that, but at the end, she obeys me and ended doing that thing. And that is something that makes me feel really proud of myself. And, I feel really comfortable doing that thing. But the hard thing is that, I thought in that moment, okay, that is the easy thing that my daughter practice her English 1 hour a day that day. But the hard thing is that she kept going that thing during 1 year. It was the hard thing. So I remember that I was thinking about it. Okay, it was easy, but now what I need to do is that my daughter doing that thing during at least 1 year. So it was interesting that process. But nowadays, I can tell you that my daughter was able to learn English the proper way just practicing it. The only thing that the needs the kids need to do in order to become fluent in that second language is practice the language. That is all what they need to do. So I had an experience with my daughter, and that is what I want to share to you. Because when your kids learn the nail language doing dusty, that is something that really works. When you pay for expensive school, or the traditional schools, your kids are going to lose the time, and the more likely you are going to lose the money. And there is the reason why this language school ask you to pay for the whole course when you begin when your kids are going to begin in that school. They ask you that you pay for the whole course, so you don't have the choice to pay it monthly. The only thing that you need to do is to pay for the whole course, and that is something that if you did, you are going to lose that thing. And let me tell you why. Because the percentage of the student that really become influent person is just just the 3% of the student, or maybe 4% of the student. So the 95 or the 96% of the people lose their time, and you as a parent, you are going to lose that money very, very likely. Okay, so that is the reason why I tell you that don't pay for expensive schools. The only thing that your kids is going to need is practice the language as much as they can. So your task is encourage them to study English as much as they can. Is they kid is they kids doing that thing for at least 1 year? That is what really works, and that is what I'm saying. Trying to encourage your kids to study English as much as they can. But when I say study, I'm not saying studying like when you are staying in the front of the classes listening to your teacher. You know, the most of the time what happens is that you are boring listening to your teacher, and maybe you try to pay attention the first minutes of the classes, but then you don't focus about what he's saying, and you lose the focus about the topics about your teacher are talking about. So what I suggest to you is try to provide, try to pay attention what really works, and what really works is a practice. What I say is studying. What I say is that the practice of the language. I'm not saying that your kids need a boot or no boot, something like that. No. What I said is that your kids need to have any screens, maybe a TV smart or something like that, or maybe your phone. You know, um, the only thing that they need to do is choose a really interesting video for them, and the only thing that they need to do is starting to watch that video on YouTube or Netflix or something like that. But I much rather that they use YouTube, because YouTube has more variety of topics. There is a lot of channel, and I believe that our kids are going to be really more interested to watch videos on YouTube than Netflix, because there is maybe maybe it depends about the kids, but in my case, it was really worse with YouTube. So I highly recommend YouTube. That is the first step for our kids. So as I say, the only thing that they need is practice. You know, the only thing that they need to practice. So don't pay for expensive schools, because for me, that is something that it doesn't work the proper way. I must rather that my kids practice the language. Try watching videos on YouTube. That is what really works, and that is what I'm saying to you. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about the importance to that for that your kids learn a new language. What is important that your kids learn a new language and become fluent in English? I believe that I am talking about my experience with my daughter. When my daughter finally became a fluent person, I believe that what makes me feel really proud of her, of myself, because I was the person who motivates her to learn English. And then when she got fluency, she was able, to gain confidence in her classes. Let me tell you what happened. Um, she changed from school, and in the beginning, she felt really comfortable because her because her classmates, she didn't feel really comfortable because she didn't know her classmates. So that is something that is really comfortable for the most of us. But what happened is that in her classes of English, um, you know, she started to get confidence because she noticed, because she was fluent in English. So her classmates started to question her and to start to ask her for help, because she was really really well in these topics in English. So, and there is something that one day she told me, "Oh, Daddy, I am the best in my class, and now my my classmates are asking me for favor because I am really good in English." So that is something that makes me feel really proud, and that is something that I told you that there is advantage to do that. That our kids are going to gain confidence if they are able to become fluent in English. Other thing that is really important is that our kids, I know that they would like to meet people abroad, and that is something that is your kids become a fluent person. That is something that your kids are going to be able to do, to meet people abroad, and that is really, really, really amazing. Yeah, everything is interesting, but let me summarize my plan. My plan was, uh, get my daughter an order. My order was, Natalie, I wanted that you study English today at least 1 hour. It was my order. And then the only thing that I need to do is, supervising her in order that she did. So at the end she did, and it was really great. It was easy to do that. It was my plan, my simple plan for that. So actually, I would like to tell you that during the last 2 years, I wrote a book called Raising Fluent Speaker, and I did because I believe that that is a guide for that is a guide for parents that to help our kids to become fluent in a second language, and that is the reason why I wrote. So today I had this book, and I would like to share the knowledge that I had in this topic. I would like to continue it and out loud these videos because I have a lot of information. The most information that I share in this book, I'm going to try to share in these videos. But I need your help. If you think that this video is interesting, if you think that this video could be useful in your life because you are a parent, you are worried about the education of your kids, and you really want that your kids become fluent persons, please help me to share this video with your relative, or maybe you had a friend that he's struggling with your kids, and maybe you want that to provide him this video in order that they listen my advice, my experience, and maybe it could be useful for him as well. So if you like this video, don't forget to share it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I hope to see you later. Bye.